I hope I look as disheveled as I feel. Hi, it's me. What am I going to be talking about today, guys? I have about an hour to film this entire thing, and it's going to be a little long, and so we're going to speed run this, and we're going to be talking about fan fiction. Specifically, that, Manacled. I have to start out with some disclaimers, and then we'll jump right on in. Disclaimer 1, I read this in under 24 hours. It is a 300k word fan fiction with 77 chapters. I was loopy by the end of it, so if some of the details are not correct, fuck off. Now for the get out of here. Get out of frame. Go away. This video is going to be talking about this specific fanfiction, Manacled and Harry Potter. There's going to be spoilers for both. Manacled has some trigger warnings. We're going to be talking about rape. Yep. Sexual assault, abuse, war, literally everybody in Harry Potter, but Hermione, Ginny, Angela, and Hannah Obbit dies. This is awful. Why did I do this to myself? Now that the disclaimers are out of the way, this is a rated M for mature game. Okay, don't be here unless you're. This is not a fun time. Why did I do this to myself? Why? I want to explain myself. First off, I don't normally read fanfiction, and by normally, I think I can probably list on one hand how many fanfictions, besides this one, I've read in my life before, and there's a reason why I don't read or write fanfiction. It's because it's heroin, crack, meth. It's a drug for my brain. I guess that escapism through someone else's voice is just exactly what my brain needs. It's a familiar story, twisted, so it refreshes things, and I can't do that because I cannot control myself. I don't know what it is, but when I read a fan fiction, I have to read it front to cover in one sitting. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I was getting a lot of TikToks about this Manacled, and I was like, I can read that. I thought it was going to be something, like I had no context. All the art for it is pretty cute, I guess, out of context. It's a it's a Draco and Hermione fan fiction, them getting all together. But I thought it was going to be short. I thought it was going to be sweet. I thought we were going to have fun. Alas, this is a terrible, horrible time. I think this gave me trauma. I downloaded AO3, which is Archive of Our Own, which is where I think this fanfiction lives. I actually don't know. Fanfiction is made by Sin Lin Yu, I think is what it is. I could be wrong about that, but that's what it says on the. It is the framing device for this fanfiction is Hands Made in Tale. I've never watched, but I know of it. I know that it is not a fun time for that show either. That show is not a fun time. TikTok thinks I read fanfiction. I'm probably the perfect person to read fanfiction. I just don't. I had it in my head, oh, maybe I could start reading some fanfictions if they pop up into my For You page. No. I might be jumping back and forth because details will become more important later, and I read this in under 24 hours, and I don't think I was supposed to do that. I did. The books, I'm gonna call it a book. I know it's a fan fiction, but it just makes it easier for me to talk quickly if I call it a book. The timeline of this book starts in 6th year. For those who have read Harry Potter, the Draco Malfoy is tasked to kill Dumbledore. Well, the framing device why Draco needs to kill Dumbledore is a little different. Nausicaa, which is Narcissa? It's Nausicaa? Narcissa? Sissa? Cisa, Draco's mom. We're going to call her Mom from now on. So Draco's mom has been tortured significantly by Voldemort for reasons. And instead of Voldemort telling Draco you need to kill Dumbledore because you need to save your entire family, Voldemort's like, hey, the trauma that I inflicted upon your mother because I tortured her in a cage for 3 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks, before you even got back, yeah, I can fix that, but only if you kill Dumbledore. And so instead of killing Dumbledore at the end of the 6th book, Draco just kind of kills Dumbledore in the middle of the Great Hall or a hallway, I can't remember exactly, in front of a whole bunch of first years. And now Dumbledore is dead at like the beginning of the year. So Harry doesn't know about the Horcruxes. Now, this story is actually told from Hermione's point of view, but you need to know that Draco killed Dumbledore way before he was supposed to. Because of that, the Order actually starts with no feet. They cannot get a running start on the fact that Voldemort exists. We don't really know about Horcruxes until later. Slughorn does come up and he's like, oh, I know, Voldemort's making Horcruxes. And so they go look for the Horcruxes, but they don't know how many Horcruxes there are because Dumbledore is dead and hasn't done the searching himself. Shit! Voldemort takes over the Ministry of Magic, or I think it's the Ministry of Magic. And we start the war. The war has started, and Harry Potter and all of his friends, Order of the Phoenix, everybody is now terrorists. And Hermione, being the studious, smart, badass bitch she is, was like, we need healing. If we're going to be doing a long-term war, we're going to be needing potions. We're going to need like good healers for this war. But no one's believing her because I guess everybody thought this was going to be fucking easy, one and done. So Hermione takes it upon herself to learn how to make potions. She studies under Severus Snape, because Snape didn't kill Dumbledore in this, so we all know that Snape is actually a good guy. He's a triple agent. She becomes potion masters under Snape, and then she goes and fucks off around Europe. She gets smuggled around Europe and like Albania and Denmark and just other places to learn very hyper-specific healing magic, and becomes one of the best healers in Europe for the Order of the Phoenix. And around this time, Voldemort is developing curses that we have never seen before, and Hermione is going to be tasked with essentially curing these curses. The thing is these curses are terrible. One of the first curses that we find out about is this flaying curse. Colin Creevey, you remember that guy, the guy who takes pictures? He is the first one to get hit with this curse. He gets taken back to the Order hideout, and Hermione can't help him because she doesn't know what's going on, and this is her first patient, and he dies painfully because he's being flayed over and over. Every cut that gets healed gets cut open again. You guys know what flaying is. By the way, did I mention that this book is fucking brutal? Everyone you know is about ready to die terribly, horribly, awfully. This is so depressing. Why did I read this? Hermione learns how to do a whole bunch of cool magic, but because of this, she had to spend 2 years away from the trio. She is no longer part of the trio. It is now just Harry and Ron, and then Hermione is over there. Hermione used to be a field healer, which she was doing battle and shit, and then she starts realizing that this lore is going to be long, hard, and numbers are not going to be even because Harry refuses to let his side kill people. So our side is being killed by sadistic murderers, but their side just gets petrified or taken prisoner or whatever. So you can only imagine how frustrating that is as someone who is a healer. She gets to see the brutal side of the war, while Harry only gets to see the fighting side. Hermione says, why don't we just start killing them? Why don't we just start using dark magic? And this is what really creates the schism in Harry, Ron, and Hermione. Because they just take her out of the battle because they know that now that she is like suggesting we use dark magic, they think she's going to use dark magic. Spoiler, she does use dark magic in a battle later. Honestly, I'm on Hermione's side. Actually, I'm more on the side of why are we not throwing bombs at everybody? We are terrorists. We can use pipe bombs. Come on. It's like part of the MO or something. I don't know. So Hermione is by herself, essentially working 14 to 16 hour work days, think triage, medicine, constantly trying to heal people, make sure that people are, keep going. She goes out and forages because, it's kind of hard to buy shit when you're labeled as a terrorist. The only reason why the Order has any money is because Harry's parents were fucking loaded, but even then they're starting to run out of money. And everything is looking pretty bad on our side. The winning, the good side, the side of light. There's a lot of light and dark kind of talk in this section. So just to make sure that we got all the hierarchy right, you have Kingsley and Moody are kind of the like strategists, kind of the people who are in charge. They are the adults of the situation. Ron is actually the strategist because he's really good at chess and shit. And Harry is a fucking idiot, as always. Well then, just to speed things along, Draco reaches out to Kingsley and Moody and Severus is here, by the way, and says, hey, I actually want to defect to the Order. Draco is what's called the High Reeve, who just kills people with the killing curse over and over and over in a very short amount of time. Like, not even Voldemort can do it like that. I guess because he's a pretty tough cookie. He is not a good guy. He's a bad guy. But he's doing it because mommy. Keep it together. He doesn't tell Kingsley and Moody that the reason why he is defecting is because he wants Voldemort to perish for what he did to his mother. Also about Draco's mother, she's dead, and so is Bellatrix, actually. When there is a rescue mission to the Lestrange Manor, Ron and Harry and... I think it was just Ron and Harry and Hermione, because Hermione was taken prisoner in Lestrange Castle. It's kind of like all of the 7th book. Luna was there and all that. I think it was like Crabbe or Goyle or one of the guys did Fiend Fire, which, if you don't know, is essentially uncontrollable fire. It's dark magic fire, and killed Draco's mom, Bellatrix, Luna, just everybody in the manor except Ron, Harry, and Hermione. So going back forward, Lucius is now insane, and he goes willy-nilly and does his own thing. He's actually quite terrible in his own right. Actually, one may call him the worst. But back to Draco. Draco has decided to defect, where he's defecting now, and he wants Hermione. His real reason is revenge for his mom, but his fake reason is that, I have a thing for Hermione, and I want to be pardoned after the war is over. And they're like, sure. And essentially say, Hermione, you don't have to say yes, but this is literally the only shot we have of winning the war. So you have to say yes. And so she does. They do reiterate that she doesn't have to do it, but we're losing the fucking war, my dudes. There was no choice. Draco and Hermione start having this sort of relationship. She hates him, as she should. He's not a good person. And she promises to be his during the war and after the war, as long as it doesn't impede her Order duties. So Draco and her start doing stuff. They don't become romantic at first. In fact, at first they just hate each other. What a good time. He's just an asshole. Just think of how Draco's an asshole in the books. He's just an asshole. But don't worry, he's an asshole with a heart, because sometimes he's nice to us. He teaches her how to fight better, teaches her how to do occlumency, which is the whole mind shield stuff. Turns out he's really good at occlumency. They do actually start developing a relationship because both of them are actually super lonely. Like, Hermione is by herself. She doesn't talk to anybody. Sometimes she talks to Ginny, and Ginny sometimes is like, dude, you need to like hang out with people. Stop working so much. Draco is just by himself because Death Eater culture is very similar to Sith, gotta kill to get to the top or something. And so they actually do have a little bit of chemistry. The actual development of their relationship is nice. It's just that it's kind of tainted by the fact that he murders people. I know, like, he doesn't have a choice. He has a dark mark, which shackles you to Voldemort, and so he can't kill Voldemort, but he can't just not be summoned by Voldemort. I get it. I really, really do. But so bad, terrible, icky, gross. We haven't even got to the worst part yet. So Draco tells Hermione the first bit of information, which is this specific prison is going to be unguarded or something, and that means that you guys can take it. So they do. They bomb the prison. They release the prisoners. Hundreds and hundreds of people are saved. Hooray! Points for us. But unfortunately, the Dark Lord is not happy about it, and so he makes Draco get some Dark Mark runes on his back, which is engraved with poison and dark magic. By the way, the dark magic kind of works like the dark side of the Force, in that it's kind of like a sickness disease. The more you use it, the more it corrupts you. Yada yada yada. Anyway, the dark magic and the runes will kill him in a few months if you don't get rid of the dark magic. Hermione ends up actually healing Draco with with Heart of Isis, which, I mean, sounds really important, but just know that it's a plot device so that way he's not killed by dark magic, and so that way their relationship goes better, just so you know. He survives the dark thing, and now we're going to go back. We're going shoot. Ron got stolen. We do a rescue party. Hermione has been practicing dueling with Draco, which is the only reason why she's able to survive this encounter. But Harry promises her that you don't need a partner, in case a fight breaks out, because we're going to protect you. I'm going to protect you. Yeah, she fucking needed a partner and she almost dies. Draco ends up being summoned somehow because Hermione left like a note or something. And, he ends up killing like the entire battlefield, obliviates people, throws them out so that way they can be apparated somewhere else. Hermione got stabbed in the lung or something, and so he goes and heals her so that way she's not fucking dead. And then they there's several sexy scenes, because this is fan fiction. I'm not saying all fan fiction has to be a little hot and bothered, but this one is. Hermione decides that she's going to, in order to break into Hogwarts, she's going to make a dark magic bomb. And what it does is it mixes dark magic with arithmancy, which is math magic, and throw it to the top of the astronomy tower and detonate it, and it should break all of the wards in Hogwarts so that way we can go and rescue people. Guess what? It fucking works, because you should be doing dark magic in war. And then essentially the final battle of Hogwarts breaks out. We find out that Harry is a Horcrux, and so he actually has to go die, which Snape didn't know, because Snape hadn't been told, because Dumbledore, remember, died at the beginning of the 6th book. This is where shit gets terrible, so if you don't want to listen to a whole bunch of character deaths, you should just skip to the end where I talk about it's not a great experience. Harry Potter gets killed. First time. The first one, the killing curse, he's not dead. Well, instead of Draco's mother checking to see if Harry is dead or not, it is Lucius. And Lucius has a V for Vendetta for this guy and says, oh, he's alive. And Voldemort proceeds to cast the killing curse like 8 times on Harry's body just to make sure, in front of the entire order. Cool. Then he sticks Harry's body on like a noose and throws it up in the sky, and then he does a decaying magic and then turns Harry into like a skeleton pretty fucking quickly. Well, Hermione realizes everything's going tits up, and she's like, if I'm the only one in the order left, I need to split. So she splits. She's out of there. There are a couple of details that you need to know. Ginny is pregnant, so she is not at the Battle of Hogwarts. Fleur's sister, the French girl's sister, Gabriella, was a reconnaissance / torturer. She got captured, which means the prisoners in the prison that the order had made got released, and then Fleur ended up going after Gabriella, and then they captured Fleur, and Fleur had all of the hideouts in her brain, and so they now know where all the hideouts of the order is. So even though Harry's dead, there's no possible way the order can survive, because now every single dark Death Eater is apparating towards every single hideout. So now we get to listen and watch as all of our favorite characters die horribly. Fred, George, Bill, were all like dismembered, and all of their shit was strung up. And by shit, I mean intestines. So I guess actually shit, if it's the right kind of intestines. Oh, also Tonks too. Lupin dies. Everybody dies. Everyone. Ron blood gets turned into like molten blood, so he burns from the inside out. Hermione, even though Hermione ends up escaping, finds out that Ginny got captured into a place called Sussex, which asterisk, Sussex is the curse development section. No one goes to Sussex alive because it's where they do human experiments on the curses that they make. So Ginny is pregnant. So we're going to try and save Ginny and the baby. So whoop, 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 whoop. Draco's like, okay, Hermione, I can smuggle you out of here. You can be safe away from the war. You won't have to die. Just come with me. And she's like, no, I have to get Ginny. Ginny is pregnant. Draco ends up blowing his cover by getting Ginny, which means that in a couple of hours, people are going to find out that Draco is actually a traitor. And Hermione is like, no, I have to save you too. Snape is alive, by the way. And he is also telling Hermione that you shouldn't do this. By the way, Snape actually is kind of a cool person in this story, which makes it makes me so angry he dies. Just stop making Snape a good character just to kill him, okay? Give him a happily ever after, okay? Okay? Why did I read this? I haven't even gotten to the worst part. You think that talking about people from burning from the inside out and being flayed would be the worst part, but we haven't even gotten to the worst part yet. Hermione then makes a whole bunch of those little dark magic bombs, like 15. They're really, really explosive, so Snape can't go do it for her. So she apparates to the damn Sussex. She blows Sussex to fucking hell, so that way no one knows Draco is a traitor. And Draco, unbeknownst to Hermione thinks that Ginny is dead for like all of this. Draco takes Ginny a safe place. I think it's like an island off of like Japan or something. Hermione gets captured, even though she like almost doesn't. She did. She was a badass. They got lucky that they got her. She gets captured. Umbridge is the warden, and Umbridge is like, oh, hey, it's Hermione. I'm going to make life suck for you. Umbridge intended to do was just keep Hermione in a dark hole for the rest of her life. She's in the sensory deprivation section of the castle, and she is essentially just tossed into a hole. It is completely dark in a cell, and food is given to her randomly, so that way she doesn't know what time it is. And she is in darkness for 16 months. And this is where the story begins, because she doesn't remember the past. I have one more thing for you, and it's gonna get really bad, guys. It gets worse. The reason why this is, you see what the name of this is? Manacled. It's probably, unless Pika flips this, it's gonna be backwards. It's not delicanum, it's manacled. And the reason why is because there are these manacles that they put on people that suppresses their magic, that the only way you can take it off is if there's 2 Death Eaters who do a certain spell to take it off. These manacle things, they suppress your magic, so you can't, any magic that's activated inside of you is immediately dispelled by these manacles. And I think it like stops you from doing like self-harm, so you can't, or self-harm or get weapons, so you can't fight back. So if I was to grab a pencil, which could be used as a weapon, the manacles would start burning really bad. Anyway, so she's down in this pit with no magic whatsoever, but she can do the faintest bit of magic, just the slightest bit of magic. And what she does is she takes all of that year with Draco and Harry and the Horcruxes. By the way, there was only one Horcrux left. They killed everybody else. They got all the other Horcruxes except Umbridge's. She takes all of that, puts it in the deepest corner of her mind, and like slowly builds up a wall around these memories so that way no one could get into it. So, and then she forgets them. Like, she does the walls so well she forgets them. So all of what I just told you, we don't know that until like chapter 30 or something. So this is where we start. Hermione has been doing sit-ups, push-ups and burpees to keep active. And she essentially does it until she's tired and passes out. She does math equations. She recalls information. She's been silent, so she can't speak. So it's all inside her brain, and it's dark and it's horrible. And then she gets taken out of the hole because the Dark Lord wants her. Not in that way. He just needs her information from her head. And she gets taken out of the hole into the light. And then we realize, that everything is bad and terrible and everybody is dead. Oh no. We get put in front of the Dark Lord and he's like, give me your tasty memories. But the walls that she has put up are actually too difficult. He cannot actually get memories from her mind. And Severus, who is a better occlumency person than Voldemort is, tries to, but doesn't really, because Snape is actually a good guy. It's gonna get worse, guys. It's gonna get worse. Magical pregnancies could perhaps break down the memory walls that are inside of her mind, so that way we can figure out what's inside Hermione's head, which is that entire year of Draco being a double agent. Hermione gets placed in the repopulation program, where these women are dressed in red cloaks and have a bonnet with no undies to be forcibly impregnated with wizard children and passed around. It's as bad as you think it is. Why did I read this? Why did I read this? Why? Why did I read this? Why? Why did I read this? Why am I telling you about this? Because you had to be subjected to it too. I read this. I can't be alone in my suffering. Hermione is stuck into the repopulation program, and then we get handed to Draco. But Draco has to pretend he doesn't know Hermione, hasn't had a relationship with her, hasn't done any betraying because Hermione doesn't know what's going on. And the Voldemort reads her mind every other month. So if he is not absolutely horribly terrible to her, Voldemort will know. They get pretty much brainwashed. By brainwashed, they're told they get kind of cursed or whatever to do compulsions, which is be quiet, be obedient, protect your child, something. I don't remember. Anyway, so she has to be a subservient woman. Hermione is obvious. She is agoraphobic after this. Any open spaces freak her the fuck out. She has pure on panic attacks bordering seizures kinds of freaks the fuck out. And I think I get it. She not only went through the trauma of a war she can only half remember, she also was in a hole for 16 months and suddenly now she can see and do shit. The only reason why she can actually see is because we can do magic. Draco has a wife named Astoria, which has been mandated by Voldemort. So the whole point of the repopulation program is because Voldemort, so we tried to make the purebred, on both sides, there was a lot of losses and there's actually not a lot of European wizards left because we killed each other. So Voldemort is going to repopulate with, his original intention was with purebloods, but purebloods are actually not very fertile and end up not being able to produce magical children. They're either squibs or unmagical. Some of them have popped out, like I think it was like one baby or whatever, I don't know. So then instead of killing all the half-blood and mudblood women, they make the repopulation program to where I think they're called surrogates. They are the ones that have to be forcibly impregnated. The real reason why we're doing the repopulation program is even though he only has one Horcrux left, well, it's because he only has one left, Voldemort's dying. Even if he has a Horcrux, his body has been so abused by dark magic that he will eventually just become a shade. Whatever the fuck a shade is in the Harry Potter universe. So it's really just a ruse to get people riled up about something, misdirection. Hermione doesn't get pregnant. She is, forced 30 times. 5 times when she is fertile a month. She doesn't get pregnant for 6 months. And she doesn't know Draco, which means he's actually, why did I read this? When Hermione gets pregnant, then she, bam, snap, flashback, woo, whole bunch of fun stuff. She remembers everything. Before we get to that, we just got to remember Draco has a wife, Astoria. She's a bitch. She hates Hermione. And then there's this other guy. He knows Hermione, but Hermione doesn't remember him because he's like a part of the memories that she suppressed. And he tries to do bad things, and then Draco kills him in front of everybody because you're not supposed to touch people's surrogates or something. Anyway, and Astoria like tries to dig Hermione's eye out with a wand. We remember Draco. We're gonna skip all of the awfulness, and now we know Draco. And Draco is like, oh, you remember? Cool. I have an escape plan for you, but not for me because I am fucking tired of doing everything all the time. He is wasting away because of everything that's happened to him. Also, he ends up shooting Umbridge with an arrow that kills the locket, and she dies. Thank fucking Christ. The plan is Snape is going to come by. Snape and Draco are going to take off Hermione's manacles, and then Hermione can escape, but it's going to be realized that Draco is actually a traitor, and then he will be killed by Voldemort. While we're waiting for Snape to come back from Snape is in Romania right now. While we're waiting for Snape to come back in Romania, Hermione is researching on like everything she can about the Dark Mark and what it could possibly be, and she realizes that she could save Draco if she had 15 Phoenix Tears, which are impossible to find. Snape gets killed in Romania, so there goes that fucking plan, and I'm so upset. Like, why couldn't you just make it to where Snape couldn't appear when he was supposed to, and then he escapes so that way Snape can have could survive? I don't know. Gotta kill everybody, I guess. Draco. So then Lucius pops in to the manor and fucked around and found out that through occlumency inside of Hermione's mind that his wife, Draco's mom, ended up being tortured and killed, and he didn't know. And so now he's like, well, I hate the Dark Lord too, and I actually have 15 Phoenix Spheres. It's a family heirloom. Ha 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 ha. And so now we can chop off Draco's arm and use a potion to make his... Well, he takes off the manacles first. Him and Lucius take off the manacle off of Hermione. And then we chop off his arm. And then Lucius commits Sudoku by using the same spell that killed his wife all over the manor, explodes the whole manor, and so everybody thinks that Hermione, Draco, and Lucius are all dead. And they all escape to an island where they live happily ever after. And epilogue, Ginny goes and kills Voldemort herself because the International Wizard Committee, the fucking guys who should have interfered in the first place, are like, oh, okay, I guess we'll come and stop the fucking mass murdering wizard man from mass murdering now. And Voldemort ends up holding himself, and they're like, oh, we can just keep him there. And then Ginny lost her fucking shit and went and murdered him. So Voldemort is dead. And then the International Wizard, the fucking International Wizard cunts are like, oh, the repopulation program, we thought that the dark mass murdering wizard made a repopulation program and everybody consented. All of the war prisoners, they consented. And then they live out their days. Ginny never reveals that Hermione is fucking... Oh my God, Ginny never reveals that Hermione is alive or what she did during the war. And so in the note, in the book that talks about the Second Wizarding War, Hermione, the only mention of Hermione is the fact that she's in a picture with Harry and Ron, and it says that she was a healer and then died. Like, that's it. She's just a footnote. And we also learn that she has the kid and Ginny's kid, they grow up, woohoo. She went through all of that and no one's even gonna say thank you. So that's it. That's the whole fanfic. I probably glossed over a few things. What do I think about this? This thing, I'm gonna start out. Okay. If you like this, that's fine. I am not one for, forced stuff as plot points. I just don't like it. It makes me feel icky. And I don't have to get into my personal life, but just know that I'm also a statistic. So that shit just doesn't, it just makes me icky, ew. Golly, it was a fucking 30 times, guys! Ah! My poor girl. The things I liked about this fanfic is that it didn't realize, because I don't usually think outside the box, Hermione totally would have been a healer if the war went longer. Like, that's totally the path, and I really liked that. Snape being a nicer person, he's a nicer person, he's still not a good guy, is cool. I liked that. I do kind of like the relationship between Hermione and Draco. I don't like that they caused each other so much pain, and for some reason we're still gonna live happily ever after. It was a horrible, awful, icky, gross. Ew. Ah! So why did I read this? I literally tried to stop. I did, but then I couldn't sleep, and my brain wouldn't shut up about it. Like, it kept thinking, oh, what's gonna happen next? Blah, 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 blah. And so I stayed up until 10 a.m. to read it, went to sleep, woke up at 2, and finished it the next day. I wanted to stop. I didn't want to finish reading this, but I did. And the thing is I think this is actually a pretty popular fanfic, so I don't want to like make anybody mad. It's just, this is not my fanfic. I don't like my characters to be in pain. Everybody dies. They die. They don't even just die. They die horribly. It's awful. They're all awful. It's so well written, though. I'm not an English teacher, so I don't actually know how well written is. It entertained me, therefore it's good writing, okay? I feel energized. My brain's like, yes, I read a fan fiction. Now I can go for days. I'm like on some kind of fan fiction brain rot high. What the fuck? I cannot say that I will never ever read another fan fiction again. Because I unfortunately enjoyed my time. I did do a lot of skimming on a lot of the icky parts. Maybe I can find a fan fiction that doesn't make my stomach turn and is awful and depressing, and everybody dies. Everyone. Neville's dead. McGonagall's dead. Everybody's dead. Everybody gets hunted down and killed. Everyone's dead. Guys, do you understand? And everyone is dead. The reason why I believe that this is a popular fanfiction is because I think there's a bound version of this fanfiction somewhere, completely illustrated. There's so many illustrations of this in the same style, so I think it's the same person, and they're great pictures. Oh my god, the pictures are so lovely. Like this. This is the picture that happens at the end of the book. Page 342. That's Harry, that's Ron, and that's Hermione, and there's the footnote, and this is all that's mentioned of her. Anyway, guys, that's gonna be it for me. This was a solid 3 out of 10 experience. Writing, 9 out of 10. Art, 10 out of 10. Wonderful. The passion involved in making this project, and the passion of everybody who reads it, because this is obviously very well liked. 10 out of 10. Good job for you guys. For me, 3 out of 10. Oh my god. Oh man, I was miserable the whole time. By the way, before we completely go off, I don't have a ship. I don't care. Like, I will read Harry and Hermione. I'll read Harry and Ginny. I'll read Hermione and Ron. Oh, it doesn't matter to me. I don't care who gets with who as long as the relationship is developed wonderfully. I just, I don't have a side. So don't come at me because I'm like, oh, Harry, Hermione, and Draco. Like, I don't care. It's just what this fucking fanfiction was about. Well, guys, if you want to support me and all the random bullshit I do, I have a Patreon. This Patreon will likely go to my editor, or living expenses. $1 gets you into the club. But if you don't have the monies, you cannot do Patreon. All you got to do is watch my other videos if you want to support me. I need more watch hours. So watch away, my friend. And word of mouth. Show me to people. Thank you guys so much for watching. And if you've made it all the way to the end, you are a trooper. Oh my god. Gold star. You are my favorite child. Okay? So good. Oh my god. Go take a nap. You deserve it. And thank you, Pika, for editing this stupid video. They had to suffer as well. Sorry. Okay, guys, bye. I'm gonna go. I need to decompress. Hold on. Just. Why? Oh, okay. I feel better. Goodbye.